Okay, so I've moved over to my streaming and game playing area. I'm at my computer, basically. But now I can get a little bit closer and see what I'm doing. So I just wanted to show this guy again a little closer. It's I, as far as I can tell, it is the exact same on this end as the 4090 connector. Um, it just has the three dongles instead of the four. Got my brackets. These things are fairly heavy duty. They seem to be powder coated, so that should hold up to whatever kind of abuse is going to happen inside a PC case, which I hope there's not any abuse, but I'm just saying it seems like it's high quality. Got this one there. It says Gigabyte on it. I'm 99% certain that this is the side that's going to mount to the motherboard. There's these the baggie of things here. These motherboard standoffs. Yeah, right there. Go. I'm going to screw into the motherboard. And so this bracket will sit kind of, up off of those a little bit. And then the card will mount on that side. Whoa. I'm too close to the camera and it's so big to even get it in there. I've still got all the plastic on. I'm not going to pull the plastic off until I get ready to install it. She's beefy. I guess I didn't show the fan side that well yet. Now this has some cool RGB effects where it lights up in the rings there. I don't think there's much, if anything, on this side at all, but should look pretty good in there. So the question that is on people's minds, I suppose, if you have a question, is why did I get a 4080? Especially being that I have a 3080. There's a lot of talk out there about the price to performance of this card, and it's too expensive, and it's too this, and it's too that. And to that, I guess I would say, yeah, if you're comparing it apples to apples, 3080 price to 4080 price, it's a big increase. It would have been great if this was another $700 card or whatever, if they increased it by $100 to $800. I forget how much the 3080 was MSRP when it came out. It was $699, I think, maybe $799 for the Founders Edition anyway. But the 3090, or maybe it was a 3090 Ti. Doesn't matter. The 3090 Ti was, no, the 3090 was $1,500, right? And the 3090 Ti was like a $2,000 card when it came out. So this is not uncharted territory for pricing of NVIDIA cards at all. And I didn't really compare it apples to apples. I compared it to the fact that this card is more powerful than a 3090 Ti and costs less than a 3090 Ti, or less than it did MSRP wise anyway, which I don't know if it ever even sold for that, but because that came out in the middle of our graphics card shortage, mining, taking all the cards, everybody trying to fight over them and charge everybody 700 times what their MSRP was. But that's why I decided to go with it. For me, the performance to dollar was there when I compared it to a 3090 or 3090 Ti. And in case you guys hadn't noticed, you can't buy 30 series cards right now, not the high-end ones, not for MSRP anyway. I mean, they're out there being scalped again. But, I've got a Asus ROG Strix 3080. I think MSRP on that was $899, and you can't find them for that right now. You can find a couple of them out there, but they're $1,200 or more. EVGA 3084, the Win 3s, $1,200 to $1,500. 3090s, if you can find them, are $1,500 to $2,000 or more. The only one that pops up sometimes that's not that expensive is the Zotac one, which I haven't actually heard anything specific about why or how Zotac is bad. I'm not going to say that they're bad. I've never had one, never used one. I just see a lot of comments about, oh, that's like the Walmart card or whatever. I don't know. I don't have any experience with them, good or bad. So I think they're probably fine. So if you can find a Zotac 3090, you can probably get that one for MSRP. Otherwise, you're looking at 3070s, 3060s, 3060 Ti's. There's a lot of those out there. A lot of them. I'm going to flip over here and talk about this because a lot of YouTubers are talking about how, oh, the 4080 was such a flop and such a, everybody's telling NVIDIA how they feel. And, well, I'm sure there's a degree of that out there. I think scalpers bought a lot of cards, especially at physical retail places like Micro Center, because you can see them on eBay. But my Micro Center is now almost, well, they're not almost out, but they've sold down their stock a good bit, and you can't find them online anywhere right now. So if you live next to a Micro Center or near a Micro Center, and don't mind driving to it, you can probably find one for MSRP. You don't have your pick of, if you wanted a ROG Strix or a MSI, overclocked or whatever, you might not be able to choose the one that you wanted, especially the ROG Strix, because interestingly enough, I think the fan base is just big enough for Asus and for that ROG in particular. ROG, I don't know. I've always said ROG, whatever. There's a huge fan base for that card out there, so I guess that makes sense that it's sold out. That was one of the first ones to actually disappear. But I'm going to switch over here. So my point is, I'm going to flip over to my window capture, and we're just going to look at some of the stock that's out there, because my whole point is that people are telling you not to buy this card, and, there's plenty out there, and it'll be there. And I'm not going to tell you the opposite, but what I'm going to tell you is don't listen to me. Don't listen to these other YouTubers out there. Do what you want. Do what's right for you. One of these cards at MSRP is expensive, and we all as individuals have to decide if that's something that we want to spend the money on, if we can afford it or not. But, that's up to us as individuals. It's not up to, talking heads on YouTube to say what you should do with your money, right? So, if you're in the market for a graphics card, the 4080 is a good option, depending on what you want to do with it. And yes, the 7900 XTX and XT are coming out soon, and those may be good options. I will reserve judgment until they actually come out, but I've been very disappointed by AMD's drivers. We can come back to that later, but I just wanted to go over the stock that's out there. So this is what's on Newegg right now. And I bought my card on Newegg last week. They did have some of these Gigabyte OCs for MSRP. And then they also had, I don't know if I see it on here. It may have been the Eagle OC. So I bought on Newegg instead of driving to Micro Center. I live 30 minutes away from a Micro Center, but I just decided to buy it on Newegg and have it shipped to my house since it was available. I was interested. I like Asus. That's just a brand I like, so I was interested. I was looking at a TUF and I was looking at the Strix, but $1,550 MSRP for the Strix didn't make a lot of sense to me since that is almost 4090 territory. But here on Newegg now, these are all third-party sellers. This is the Gigabyte OC that I bought right here, $1,649. So that's, what is that? $1,649 minus $1,269, $380 over MSRP for that card now. The MSI 4080, $1,700. The non-overclocked MSI, $1,624. Gigabyte Eagle OC, $1,539. Rogue Strix, $1,939. And then we get into some pre-builts that have it in there. And that's it on Newegg. 4090s. I mean, they don't have anything. They don't even have them up here third party. Well, there we go. Zotac for $2,900. Founders Edition, $3,300. PNY, $2,500. Yeah, no thanks. That I will draw the line at. Plus, I mean, a 4090 is so much overkill for anything that I could possibly do with it. This is my local Micro Center. They do have in stock, so if you live near one, and I've looked, I've changed my location on the Micro Center website, and I've looked around the country to see what they have. Some of the ones in the Northeast, especially, there's a couple of stores in the New York City area, have more than this. But all of the stock is a week ago. Every store I looked at, they had every single model, and they had multiples of them. My local Micro Center had like 15 of the ROG Strix versions, double digits of the TUF. I mean, they had all of them. And this Zotac, even the last time I looked a couple days ago, there was 17 in stock. Now there's 8, and there's one Gigabyte Eagle OC for $1,239. One. So again, if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. That's fine. But if you want one, I don't think waiting is in your best interest. I could be wrong. All of the scalpers could suddenly return the cards that they have. NVIDIA could suddenly release a huge wash of inventory, and they could drop the prices if sales really are not doing well. But I honestly think it's too soon to decide if sales are doing well or not, when now we're seeing that the physical stores are, if not selling out, they're certainly dropping inventory. And the ones that are being bought in the physical locations right now, I'm not going to profess to know, but I can't imagine that they're being bought by scalpers, since it does seem like the scalpers are having a hard time getting the increased dollars out of them. But I don't know. But this is my local Micro Center. There's 2 versions to choose from. So you can choose to wait, you can choose to not wait, but I didn't wait because I wanted one, and I didn't want to risk it and have them be out of stock or only selling for over MSRP. Amazon, same thing. Here's an Eagle for $1,450, the Zotac for $1,350. Now this one, that might be MSRP for this Zotac, $1,349. Wait, that's the 4080 Trinity. Okay, the OC one is $1,409. Let's go back to Micro Center. Okay, so the regular Zotac non-OC one is $1,400, $1,399. Oh, it's actually less. It's $50 less than MSRP. And the 4080 16 gig Trinity OC 1409, that might be at or around MSRP too. But then we've got the MSI Gaming 24 gigabyte. That's not right. This must be a... I would be very wary of buying from somebody who cannot label their ad correctly, because there is no 24 gigabyte 4080. Founders Edition 1740, Tough 1679, Tough 1696. Here's this is the card that I got, the Gigabyte OC 1555. PNY 1484. Here's the Rogue Strix 1900. So, I mean, you can buy them if you want them, but these are all overpriced. Very few options left for buying cards at MSRP. Best Buy, same thing, sold out of all of them. Sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. B&H Photo, I think they had one of them. Gigabyte is sold out. Okay, so you can buy the Zotac here. Which one is this? This is the Extreme Aero. I guess Zotac has, what, 3 different ones? I'm not even sure what the difference is between the 3 of them. This is not the... This is one of the more expensive of the 3, though. $13.99 MSRP on that, but you can buy this one. And again, I'm not saying anything bad about Zotac. It's actually my favorite looking of the cards. I like the round edges to it and the smoothness of it. I think it looks good. But you can buy that on B&H Photo. You can buy it on Amazon. Well, no, these are different. I don't see that arrow on here, but you get the point. Everything else is sold out, sold out. And the funny thing is, I clicked on one of these. So some of them say notify me when available, but there's a couple that say request assistance. When you click on it, unfortunately, our supplier cannot provide an accurate time frame, so we have suspended back orders for this item. So if I want to buy this one, I can have them notify me when it's available. You can't even do that on a Rogue Strix. So I don't know what that means exactly, but it sounds like they're anticipating not getting more stock of some of these, and so you can't even get on a wait list for it or back order it. So that's where we're at there. I mean, again, I'm not trying to talk anybody into buying one, but I wouldn't try and talk you out of it either. It's a great card. It's the second strongest card on the market. I'm going to use it playing 1440p so that I can get as high performance as I can out of Cyberpunk 2077, as that's one of my favorite games. Dragonflight just came out, so my guild is playing Dragonflight, playing a lot of WoW, and WoW now supports ray tracing. And when you get in some of these raids and some of these boss fights where there's tons of stuff happening on screen, I've dropped my FPS below 100 before on my 3080, which, I mean, first world problems, right? Like, my FPS is 99. Not a big deal, right? I mean, but I'm just saying, hopefully with this card, I can maintain max performance and not have as many drops. Also, Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2 just came out, and that game is stout. I'm able to run that 90 to 120 FPS on ultra settings, native resolution. I have to turn DLSS on to get over 150. So that's another one that this card should help with. And I'm 4K ready. You know, if I want to go to 4K, this card will do 4K, especially with DLSS 3.0. So, I mean, this card will last me. This will be good now for a while, long while. Like, there's absolutely no reason. I'm not going to buy a 4090. I don't need a 4090. There's nothing that a 4090 is going to do for me that this card won't do. Now, I do want to go back, though, to talk about the AMD cards. I wanted to be Team Red. I built my first PC just a few months ago, first PC build ever, and I wanted to support AMD. I wanted to go Team Red. I wanted to try and, you know, not do what everybody else does and buy NVIDIA. And so I got a Power Color Red Devil 6800 XT. It's a beautiful card. It runs quiet. It runs cool. And honestly, in some games, it was better performance than what this 3080 has for me. But it crashed all the time. DDU uninstall and reinstall the drivers. I tried doing the minimal install with Adrenaline where you don't install the software, where you just install the drivers. And watching it was particularly troublesome when watching videos, any kind of video. Trying to watch YouTube, crash. Trying to be in a Teams meeting for work, crash. Have Discord open or Streamlabs open on one monitor and gaming on the other, Alt Tab in between, crash. Not every time, but enough that it was becoming troublesome. Today, my girlfriend's 6700 XT crashed for the first time because she was in. It wasn't Teams. She was on Zoom. She was in a Zoom meeting, crashed, and it came up with an AMD driver error. It's just not worth it to me to have something that's so unreliable. I'll take the little bit of hit on performance that my 3080 has compared to the 6800 XT because it's never crashed on me. It just runs strong all the time and does everything that I ask of it. And so with the 4080, I'm going to have more of the same with better performance. So you can be an AMD fanboy if you want, and you can talk crap about NVIDIA, and you can run out and grab the 7900 XTX. I'm sure it's going to be great in a lot of ways, but I just hope it runs for you. I really just hope it runs, and I hope AMD starts to work on their driver issues. I had a lot of people on Reddit and on Facebook get like viscerally angry with me for talking about this. They're such big AMD fanboys, and they think that me talking about this makes me some kind of NVIDIA shill or NVIDIA fanboy, which is so far from the truth. It's not even funny. But I'm just speaking from my experience. You know, I had read about the driver issues with AMD, and I thought, well, that was a long time ago. It'll be fine. I read on Reddit lots of people say, no, it's fine now. Everything's good to go. I'm an N of 1. You know, this is just my experience, but I would be wary. But you guys make your own decisions. I'll make my decisions. The AMD cards are probably going to be great. This 4080 is great. If you can't afford a $1,200 graphics card, you can't afford a $1,200 graphics card. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you're gaming in 1080p or even 1440p, you know, 3060 Ti is a great option, especially with DLSS. There's a lot of other cards out there that you can get, but if you want a high-end graphics card, I think this is the way to go, especially since you can buy them at MSRP right now. But we'll have to make our own decisions on that one. So until next time, peace.